Hey everybody, so welcome back to Jim Bob's Garden. Alright, so today is Friday, and Monday night and Tuesday night of this week, we had freezing temperatures here in the northeast Florida, Jacksonville area, which is unusual. I mean, normally we're not looking at a freeze until probably mid-December, early December at the earliest. So this is highly unusual, but you know, most of the country got that real cold snap that ran across the country, and now it's warming back up. Today it's supposed to be mid 70s to high 70s, and all of next week is going to be in the 80s. So figure the odds, right? Northeast Florida for you. Anyway, so I planted a really nice, sizable fall garden this year, and I had talked to you about which varieties I planted, and I primarily planted varieties based upon whether or not they'll survive a freeze. So I wanted to take you around and kind of show you how things worked out and how they've done after a freeze or a frost. Alright, so let's take a little look around and I'll show you what we got. Alright, first thing I want to show you is the garlic. Of course, the garlic is doing fine, and in fact I've seen a lot more sprouts coming up from the garlic. I think because the temperatures got cold, kind of cooled it off and made it want to sprout up. Just a progress report on that. The ones that I put in the refrigerator, they did sprout quicker, and they also have been the germination rate has been much higher. I probably got 2/3 so far germination on the cloves I bought just from Walmart. But still, that's a pretty healthy amount. And they're looking good so far. They're catching up to the other garlic. So I'm overall very pleased with my garlic so far. And then back behind me, over here, you can see both my bok choy. I'm sorry, bok choy is behind, tatsoi in front, and behind that is the daikon radish. All of them have done very well. I will show you. Let me grab a leaf here. On the tatsoi, we did get a little bit of damage. You can see there's a little bit of drying and discoloration on the leaves from the frost. Okay, but overall, like 90% of the leaves are still fine. Okay, everything's looking very, very good. All right. So on that side, pretty much everything back here did very well. I'll take you back here. Let me pick up the camera and I'll show you some stuff over here that didn't do so well. Okay, once again, you got the daikons, you have the bok choy, and the tatsoi in this row right there, all of which have done fine, and the chives beyond that, and you can see they're doing fine as well. Now back over here, I have the 1,000-headed kale, and it seems to have done fine as well. You can see some of the leaves are just a little bit yellow, but other than that, they're okay. The cucumbers are gone. Cucumbers died. The frost definitely killed them, no question about it. And then this is my tomato, which also is taking a lot of damage. Okay, I'm gonna let it go. We'll see if it comes back. Some of the baby tomatoes, these are a cherry tomato, I guess. Check it out, little wasp. You'll find some bad bugs to kill. Alright, but yeah, the cherry tomato did not do well. You can see there are still some leaves here and there that are okay, but for the most part, it's frost damaged and it's probably done. Alright, but you know, that's kind of what you expect for this time of year with that type of plant. Now in this section of the garden, you can see behind me the lettuce is looking really good. Got a few leaves that got a little beat up, like this one here, and that's not bug damage, that's frost. Okay, but all in all, it did very well. Very, very pleased. The beets, however, did not do so well. Okay, they took a lot of damage, but one of the reasons I wanted to wait for a couple days to show you is because they are coming back. They are springing back, and I've got actual small beets starting to form on some of them, so I think it'll all be fine. I was kind of surprised. I really thought that beets were more cold hardy than they have proven to be. The spring onions behind have done very well, and the burgundy lettuce over here, everything's fine. The only reason that this looks as bare as it does is because we've been harvesting it. All right, all of these plants we've been harvesting and making into salads because we like salad. All right, let's go look over here. Now down this row here we have the broccoli, and the broccoli actually took more damage than I thought it would. For being a brassica, it actually kind of got hurt. And on the flip side of that, I really thought that these peppers would be completely gone, but you can see, and this is a banana pepper, all right, and they're really more of a summertime crop, but they were still alive, so I left them alone. But they still have some green leaves, so we'll see, you know, if they make it. Fine. If they don't, I'll get some more. We have seed. All right, but the broccoli is coming back. You can see I've got nice firm leaves at the top. All right, so should be just fine. All right, but it did take some damage, which I was kind of surprised. I really thought that it would do better in a freeze than it did. Okay, and in this section, everything seems to be doing just fine. My carrots are right here. They're doing great. I did not get germination yet on the carrots I planted in here, so I'm not sure if that was due to the frost, because sometimes what will happen is if you plant too close to a frost, the frost will kill off the you know, newly germinated seeds, and you'll have to replant. Okay, so we'll see how that's going. I actually had some of that over there. I should have showed you, but like my radishes, a few of them have come up, the rest of them have not yet. And then on the other end where I planted the chard, it has not come up at all. But now I also had an issue where a dog apparently had gotten in there and went right down the line, stomped on all my plants. So they could have pushed them down deeper. They could have just dug them up to where they became food for insects and so on. I don't know, but so far nothing has germinated. We'll update you on that as we go along. Kale, I'm sorry, the greens, collard greens, are doing just fine. All right, they seem to do fine in a freeze. Same thing over here. This is my cauliflower. It actually seems to have done better than the broccoli did. 1,000-headed kale's fine. Of course, I got more bok choy in here. These over here in the cages are my leftover eggplant, and believe it or not, they survived. I didn't cover them. None of this got covered, so I'm really surprised that they actually done as well as they have. Then my onions over here are doing just fine. They don't mind a freeze, and in fact I got to get in here and start really weeding stuff out before it gets ahead of me. That's one of the biggest things with onions, in my experience, has been that you got to keep them weeded, but it's real hard to do because you got to keep up on it. All right. And then I want to show you the last thing over here. And in here, this is what is left of my sweet potato plants. There's a few leaves where they got protected by the lemongrass, and they seem to have done okay, but 90% of the leaves on the plants have died back. I am getting some regrowth, but I believe what I'm going to do is I'm going to come through here, dig this all up, get what sweet potatoes I got, and then we'll go from there. Hopefully I got a good crop. I mean, it's hard to say because they're down deep. It's really hard to determine, but we'll dig them up. I'll probably let them go a little bit longer just to kind of see, you know, if they come back. And keep in mind, for the summertime, sweet potatoes are great because you can also eat the leaves. All right, but now obviously there's not much leaf here to eat. Yeah, I mean, there's a few leaves back in there. The lemongrass behind me has really started turning brown. Probably be okay to let it grow until the next freeze, and then we'll harvest it at that point. Just because if it freezes too hard, it'll die back, and then the stems is what we use for tea, or what the wife uses for tea, and those stems will end up being dry and not as flavorful if you let them freeze real hard. But I got a bunch there and I got a bunch here. But all in all, the garden did well. I'm very pleased. Oh yeah, and I did have my beautiful huge basil plant that we had let grow, and it died. We even covered that, and it still did not do well. The cold temperatures just tore it up. So basil, not a winter crop. Okay, definitely not a winter crop. It should go in when you put in your tomatoes. All right, but that's what we got going on. So all in all, the kale did fine, the collards did fine, the cauliflower did fine. The broccoli took a little bit of damage. And then of course, tatsoi, bok choy, daikon radish, all of those Asian ones did very well. The garlic did fine, the onions did fine, lettuce is fine. Basically all the things that we thought would survive well, it did. And the only real surprise was probably the broccoli. That it didn't do as well as it should have, I thought. But it may have been because that soil over there hasn't been prepped as well as other soils, and it's still a little bit hydrophobic. Alright, but that's what I got. That's what's going on. That's what survived the frost. So far, the fall planting has been a success, and I'm very pleased. Alright, everything that I thought would survive has. Oh, and the strawberries did well as well. Right, strawberries did just fine. So, I mean, really, everything's doing great. I'm pleased to report that the plan has worked so far, and we'll see how it is going forward. All right, thanks for stopping by. Do me a favor, give me a like and a subscribe, and let me know what you think. But grow something. Get something growing in your yard. Oh, also, we have t-shirts on the our Etsy shop. Please feel free to check them out. And here real soon we're going to have coffee cups. We're working on another design to put on the coffee cup on the back side. But we should have coffee cups here within the next week or two, hopefully. I'm not in control of that. My kid is. So once that gets done, we'll let you know on that as well. But yeah, if you want to get some shirts, check them out. Let me know what you think. And like I said, get something growing in your yard. Man, we come out here every day. Well, not every day. But we come out here and we have enough salad, greens and different things for salad that we can have a fresh salad every day, all right, without problem, without issue. And if all you want to eat is salad, I mean, I got it more than enough growing that you could pretty much just keep eating salad day after day after day. All right, like I said, thanks for stopping by, and y'all come back and see me and grow something. You're gonna be pleased if you do. All right, y'all take care now.